Glastenbury Designs Workshop and Mount Equinox Country Store. I'm glad you're able to join us, and we're blessed to have you here. What I'm going to talk about today is this Grizzly drum sander. I've had a lot of people ask me for an update on what I think of the machine. I've had it now for probably about 8 months. I've ran a lot of cutting boards through it. I've ran a lot of other projects through it. I just recently sanded off all the panels for a nice little box that I made that was a custom order. Overall, I really like the machine. It does a great job. The model number on it is it's a G0458Z. If you run a small shop like mine and you don't have a place for a big, like a double wheel or a triple wheel drum sander, if you don't have the electricity set up for it, I highly recommend this one. You can do, you're supposed to be able to do like a 36-inch wide tabletop with it. I don't know as I'd try that with this machine because it will bog a little bit. It may even actually shut down on you. But if you keep it to, even if you go a couple inches wider, I've sanded a 24-inch cutting board with this, no issue. You just have to keep turning it around so that you get the sand surface perfectly level, and you don't have like divots or anything, or something sort of like snipe, which you would get out of a planer. I did change a couple things about the machine. There's some fins right here in the dust port. I cut those out because when I sand stuff with epoxy, it tends to clog this. So I went ahead and cut out 3 of these supports, or 3 of these fins. I'll go ahead and give you a look at that in a second. I also, there's a guard in here. One of the things that I found to be most challenging about this is the sandpaper changes. There's a guard in here that I took out. That's this guard right here that goes in down by the sandpaper reel. I guess I don't suggest making any changes to the machine, but I'm kind of a bigger person and it was hard for me to work in there, so I found it much easier for me to get in there and get the things done that I needed to, and changing the reel over when it needed a sandpaper change. I'll go ahead and open this up. I'll get the camera over here a little closer so that you can see what the things that I'm talking about. Let me just move the camera over here just a little bit. So to open it up, it's just one screw right here in the front. That's pretty easy. Don't forget the washer there. Sometimes it gets a little stuck. So here's the dust collection port that I was talking about. I cut the fins out of. That's just because, like I said, the epoxy was getting hung up in there. I've done a lot of sanding recently on the done a lot of sanding of pine recently, so probably have to either change the sandpaper reel or get after it with a little bit of a wire brush. But the sandpaper reel is pretty easy to change with that guard off there. Now that guard used to sit right here. You probably ought to leave it on. Like I said, it was just easier for me to get in there and do the work that I need to do without it. And then I suppose I was just too lazy to put it back on. Don't want to admit that, but that's probably the truth. All your switches are right here. This is the belt feed speed. This is your on-off switch. And it's got its own internal breaker, so if you overheat it or you have too much of a power draw, it's supposed to kick itself. I've not had that happen yet, but it does like to bog down, and the belt itself will stop running if you have it under too much of a load. Overall, I think Grizzly did a great job building this machine. Highly recommend it to anyone that might be thinking of purchasing one. The tracking sometimes is hard to adjust. I notice the belt does tend to travel just a little bit if I put a bigger piece of wood through there, like a heavier piece and a wider piece at the same time. If the thickness isn't too bad, but it's a wide piece, you're going to probably be okay. And it doesn't like long pieces of stock, and I don't have the tall sawhorses or supports on either end for that. So I try to keep it to just my cutting boards, and maybe I'll put like a 30-inch tabletop through, a 30 inches long by like 24 inches wide. That's about the biggest I'm going to go with this machine, though, until I can either build a bigger shop and get a bigger machine, or overall I'm pretty happy with this. If I were to build a bigger shop and buy a bigger sander, I'm going to go with Grizzly again. That'll conclude this video. Since the last video, we picked up a couple new subscribers. I always appreciate it when we have new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, I appreciate it if you do. Also hit the like button. If you have a comment, go ahead and leave that in the comment section down below, and I'll try to answer any questions you might have, or even just answer a comment. I always appreciate it when people comment, and I try to at least reply to them. Try to start making my videos a little bit more regular. I guess until we see each other again, everybody stay blessed.